I made over $50,000 scooping dog poop with my pet waste removal business. Join me as I take you on a journey through my second year in business, revealing my income and the challenges I faced along the way. With a goal to double my first year's earning and reach $26,300, I set out on a mission to make that happen. By the end of July, I already surpassed my goal, reaching $32,000. With a loyal customer base of around 31 weekly clients and one apartment complex that I service. Starting out with my recurring expenses, I rely heavily on Jobber as my CRM, investing $149.36 a month to streamline my processes and keep everything organized. Additionally, I couldn't run my business without the help of NiceJob, who not only host my website, but they help me gather reviews and recommendations from all of my happy clients. With NiceJob, I've seen a tremendous boost with my online presence and reputation. I've seen a stunning 414% increase in reviews across Facebook and Google, making my review count skyrocket from 14 to 72. While it may seem like a hefty cost for $174 a month, the results speak for themselves and it's worth every penny. Having a professional email address that aligns with my business is really important to me, so that's why I pay for Google domains and Google Workspace. By doing so, my email address comes from my own domain rather than a generic Gmail account. Not only does this create a sense of trust and credibility with my pet waste removal business, but it also sets me apart from other businesses who may be using a free email service. At a cost of $12.86 per month, along with the new domain I purchased in November, this investment is well worth the peace of mind and professionalism it adds to my business. I also rely on a virtual mailbox through iPostal One for managing my mail. While it does come with its own set of challenges, such as occasionally forgetting to check the mail and incurring a fee as a result, the cost of $9.99 a month is well worth it for the convenience and the peace of mind it provides. By using a virtual mailbox, I'm able to keep my business address separate from my home address, and I don't have to worry about any public information being linked to it. It's still a small price to pay for the flexibility and convenience a virtual mailbox provides. As for supplies, I spent $13.97 on a bottle of bleach, $30 on a grabber tool to help me pick up poop from gravel and rock areas since it's really hard for me to bend over with my back pain and scoliosis, and $19.28 for work gloves. Inflation affected everyone in different ways this year, even more so on the gas pump. I estimated I spent at least $350 on gas in August, but it tapered down the rest of the year while prices stabilized. I continued my marketing strategy of using paid Facebook and Google ads to generate awareness for my business. Despite investing $209.83 on Facebook and $559.90 on Google ads, I found it really challenging to land new customers during the summertime. One obstacle I didn't anticipate last year was the intense heat I felt during the Utah summer. While I know some scoopers on the Southwest are already used to hotter temperatures, I found myself scooping in 110-degree weather. Mosquitoes love my blood and they were all over me all summer long, and I had to take extra precaution to protect myself from the scorching heat. I wore these really nice long sleeve SPF shirts to shield my skin from the sun. Once the temperature is 100 degrees, there's only so much you can actually do to beat the heat. I found what worked best for me was wearing a really large hat, and that was able to provide me additional shade for my face and my bald head. August was a slower month for me as a professional pooper scooper. I completed 121 appointments. I made a total of $4,003.24 in revenue, plus an additional $150 in tips, for a total of $4,153.24 in the month of August. As the temperatures remained high in September, I noticed that my business was still slow, and people still preferred to scoop after their dog. Faced with this challenge, I decided to spend less money on paid ads. I only allocated $83 to Facebook ads and another $500 to Google ads, but I wanted to keep a close eye on my budget. I also realized I was running low on plastic bags, so I spent $61.07 to purchase a couple boxes to keep me going. Despite spending less on ads, I was able to complete 139 appointments in September. My total expenses for the month came out to $1,438.05. My hard work paid off, as all my scooping appointments resulted in $4,166.82 in revenue, along with $160.01 in tips for a total of $4,326.86 in September. It was a challenging month, but I was pleased to see that my efforts were rewarded and I was motivated to keep going. As October rolled around, I was eager to try something new that would bring more exposure to my business. I stocked up on more essential supplies like bleach and a large dustpan, and I even splurged on some high-quality shoe inserts to keep my feet comfortable during long days of scooping. As the weather turned colder, I made sure to invest in some thermal socks and boots to keep me warm. And my apartment complex wanted yard signs for the property, which cost me $79.98 with the manufacturer. But my biggest investment ever was the sponsorship at an apartment association conference, where I had the opportunity to meet property managers and their maintenance crew. It cost me $900 to be a sponsor at this event. I got a few hundred flyers made for $136, and all the supplies used to build the booth was $149. Even went all out on my paid marketing, spending over $1,500 on Google and Facebook ads. And you know what happened? I didn't even land a single customer. I got to talk to a couple property managers, but I haven't heard from them ever since. But I knew I had to put myself out there and hopefully make connections that can pay off in the future. And even though October was the most expensive month, with over $3,700 in expenses, I still managed to complete 157 scooping appointments and earn $4,951.15 in income, including tips. In November, I had one of the most challenging obstacles I had to overcome, and I didn't realize it until it was too late. Daylight savings. We all turned the clock back 1 hour, and while everyone else was excited about having an extra hour of sleep, I was worried about having one less hour of sunlight for me to do all of my scooping appointments. As a full-time worker and a part-time scooper, completing my routes during the winter season has been really difficult. With my schedules already filled to capacity and even more customers signing up for services, rescheduling an appointment meant either wasting more gas or rushing through every scooping appointment, which would compromise the quality of my service. In order to combat the lack of sunlight, I made the decision to lower my ad spend again on Facebook and Google, but I didn't let this setback defeat me. I did splurge on Black Friday and I bought some amazing upgrades for my business. Along with another shoe insert, I bought this perfect truck organizer to keep my supplies neatly stored in the back of my car for $28.79, a balaclava ski mask for $19.29, and battery-powered heated gloves and vests to keep me warm in the colder temperatures. The transaction fees pushed my total expenses for November to $2,408.76. I completed 137 appointments in November, which generated $5,165 in income and $119.50 in tips for a total of $5,285. Not only did I surpass the 5,000 mark for the third time this year, I was landing more weekly clients to fill out the routes that weren't full. While my revenue fell short of the $7,300 I made in March during the spring rush season, it's still a remarkable accomplishment for me and a clear indication of the dedication and hard work I put into my business. It's a very proud moment for me as an entrepreneur. December brought its own set of challenges, not only with the sun setting earlier in the day, but also with clients not properly cleaning their yards from all the fallen leaves. This made it really difficult to service new yards, as all the piles of poop were just covered up by the leaves, and it was really hard to see them, especially once it started snowing. I found myself frequently stepping in dog poop because I couldn't see where they were, and I got really tired of hand cleaning my boots after every appointment. So I ended up buying probably the best piece of equipment ever for my pet waste removal business, and invested in a backpack sprayer for $362.48. This sprayer allows me to fill up the tank with a combination of water and bleach, and I can spray down my equipment and boots in between appointments to make sure everything is as clean as possible. I'll leave links down below for the backpack sprayer and all the equipment I talked about in this video if you want to check it out yourself. I also picked up a brand new pair of snow boots, which kept my feet warm and dry during the snowy days, and I bought another GT3070 cultivator rig, considered to be one of the top performing poop scooping rigs for the winter season. I don't only just use the GT3070 rig during the winter time, I like using it all year long, and for $22 it's the most reliable rig I have as a pooper scooper. I also stocked up on more plastic bags and bleach because there's no such thing as too much supplies. With more weekly clients on my routes and the snow impacting my ability to clean new customers, spending a little over $500 across Facebook and Google. Along with my transaction fees, my expenses for December was $1,872.45. I completed 120 scooping appointments in December and generated $4,487.15 in revenue, along with another $120.25 in tips, for a total of $4,607.40. Before I reveal my total expenses and revenue, I want to share the most important lessons I learned in my second year as a professional pooper scooper. Lesson number 1, the sacrifices we make as an entrepreneur and business owner can be really tough, especially when it comes to missing valuable time with your family. Being a business owner can be a very lonely journey, with long hours spent growing your business and less time to spend with the people that matter the most to you. It's important to remember why you started your business in the first place, your true north as your guiding principle. For me, it was to pay down my student loans and eventually save enough money to buy a house. I remind myself every day that everything that I do is for my family and for my daughter, and that my sacrifice is only temporary. Lesson number 2 is a crucial one. You're putting a significant physical strain on your body. Poop scooping is a labor-intensive job, with repetitive motions of scooping and hauling around heavy bags of poop. This puts a lot of stress on your hands, shoulders, elbows, your entire body. My hands are still jacked up from spring rush earlier this year, with stiffness in my fingers that have never gone away. And I even suffered my first dog bite, when a dog escaped our kennel and literally bit me on my ass cheek. Remember, You only have one body, so make sure the money you're earning is worth the effort. Don't let your body take the hit for low prices, and make sure you're being compensated for the hard work you put in. Lesson number 3, don't be afraid to charge what your services are worth, especially for the first appointment. Society often tells us that our value is determined by how long it takes to complete a task, but I'm going to challenge you to change that idea and instead define your value by the results you provide. Sure, there may be some customers that will complain that your prices are too high, or they might get upset because you finished their yard really fast. By charging more for your services, your margins will increase, allowing you to scale your business and hire employees to help you out. This way, you can focus on being a business owner and making all the important decisions, rather than an employee who owns a business. Make your business work for you, not the other way around. Lesson number 4, don't put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to marketing. While paid advertising can be very effective, it's important to diversify your strategy to ensure sustained growth and success. In the past, I relied heavily on paid advertising, with a staggering 31.3% of my expenses going to marketing in 2021. This number increased to 42.6% of my expenses in 2022. With the cost of paid advertising on the rise, I'm shifting my focus to building a strong referral program for all of my happy customers and networking with other businesses in the dog industry to promote my poop scooping services. Paid ads will still play a role in my marketing strategy, but I'm really excited to explore new ways to bring awareness to my business. If you find this breakdown valuable, please hit the like on the video because it really does help out a lot. Thank you. My total expenses for my pet waste removal business in year 2 came out to $23,882.09. This was a 372% increase from year 1. My income as a professional pooper scooper in my second year came out to $53,311.09, with another $2,129.34 in tips, for a total revenue of $55,440.43. This was a 321% increase from year 1. My net profit with my pet waste removal business in 2022 came to $31,558.34, and I ended the year with 50 weekly clients and 1 apartment complex. And I'll see you on the next scoop. And as always, acknowledge the now. Bye.